The individual quarterfinals are over, and as a masters athlete, I tested all of these workouts for a couple of reasons. One, I think it was a really fun way to do a mock quarterfinals weekend. I always think it's interesting to practice quarterfinal workouts that we may see versions of. So historically, we've seen some similarities between the individual quarterfinals and the age group qualifiers. Other years, we've seen absolutely no crossover. What we do get a peek into is the mind of Adrian Bosman and how he's programming quarterfinals this year for the individuals. And we saw some new movements that we could very easily see in the Masters qualifiers. With all of that, I decided to test them out, and I wanted to share with you lessons from each one of the workouts. Let's go. I decided to start with workout number 2. And I will be looking to the side here because I have my screen down here where I can actually look at this workout. This workout started with 8 single arm dumbbell snatches with one arm, and then using that same arm, you're doing overhead walking lunges, and then switching arms to do 8 more single arm dumbbell snatches into 8 overhead walking lunges. So really, really fun beginning to this workout. And just to be clear, I wasn't filming these workouts as if I was going to submit them to HQ. So clearly I'm out of the screen, and I realized that after the fact. If I were to be filming this for an actual qualifier, I would have tested everything, making sure that I am fully in the screen on absolutely every rep, no matter what. In fact, I'm just a little bit off the screen here, which I think I can adjust. Let's do that right there. Can't really adjust it. So this is just where it's at. So make sure when you're doing your quarterfinal workouts that you're submitting to headquarters, obviously we're going to make sure that our entire body is in the screen. And I also didn't overly pay attention at this time to where I needed to set up all the cameras to make sure that this was exactly the way HQ set it up. In testing these, I was training with another person. This is the owner of CrossFit 231, so he did the workouts with me. In some of the other workouts, I have whole groups with me, so I just decided to keep it nice and casual, but still have a camera on the entire time so I could review this. Now, here was the sticky part for me. Here's the dumpster fire. It is the crossovers. I practiced a few of these before the workout, and I thought, man, this is just going to be no problem. I'll just get these. I'll adapt on the fly. This was not the time to attempt to adapt on the fly. I clearly could not get these going. And eventually here, I actually do get them going. And then I realized I didn't know how to count them correctly. So you count every time your arms cross, and the way I counted it was actually every cross and back. And I didn't realize this until I realized when I'm in like rep number 36, I was all 36, 36, 37, 37, 38, 38. Oh no, I've counted these wrong the entire time. So I ended up doing like 80 crossovers in my first set and just chipped through them in the worst way. But I thought I'd just show you, like, yeah, I was a mess. I just couldn't get it. How frustrating is that? I eventually get a good set here. I'm just going to skip forward a little bit. And now I've got myself into a nice rhythm here. I'll tell you what, after I finished all of these workouts, I tested workout number 2, number 1, and number 4 on one day. I just back to back to back. I spent about 45 minutes practicing crossovers because I was so frustrated by my inability to do this movement. I was like, what the heck? So I kind of got it towards the end of the day. The next day on Saturday, when I was practicing them some more, I kind of found a cue that worked for me. That was really a cue just to get my left arm much more engaged, my non-dominant arm engaged. My right arm, dominant arm, knew what to do. I just had to really focus on my left arm. That helped me. And the rest of this workout starts to go fairly smoothly. I found that doing the dumbbell snatches right into the walking lunge was totally fine. I thought I was going to have to set it down on the 7th rep, pick it up for the 8th rep, and then do my walking lunges, but it really wasn't a big deal. The only thing that got super fatigued in this workout for me were the bottoms of my feet. I don't know if anyone else has that experience or if it happens to you, obviously, but when I do some sort of snatching or Olympic lifting, even if it's dumbbell snatching and double unders, the bottoms of my feet turn into absolute fire. Like the pain in the arches or the bottoms of my feet is so intense that it almost slows me down. It's just so painful. It doesn't wear me out. It's not like muscle fatigue. It's just an ache in my feet. So after the workout, for about 3 or 4 minutes, the bottoms of my feet hurt so bad. So leave a message in the comments if that's something that you've experienced or that you found a way to get around. Like, I'm not sure. So here's round two. I get back to the crossovers and I find myself in a decent rhythm. I get something like 30 of them in a row, just so excited. Bottoms of my feet are on fire already. And then once I get to 30, it takes me another 30 seconds to get the rest. I'm a little fatigued and I'm also just dying. Let me go a little faster here. And I trip up a few times and then I get there. All that to say, the lessons that I found in this workout were I can go harder than I thought I could on the dumbbell snatches into the overhead walking lunges. Crossovers are a challenging movement. In fact, I would say double unders are a scaled version of crossovers for me right now. Double unders are easier, crossovers are harder, and I'm still trying to find the right rope for crossovers. Whether it's the beaded rope or it's a slightly heavier rope or it's my speed rope, I'll be practicing that over the next 2 weeks to make sure that I'm ready for when quarterfinals come. Here we go. We're just going to watch this guy really struggle here. I ended up getting something like 4 rounds altogether, and 4 rounds plus I think 9 reps. So that would be an absolute repeat. I was not happy with the performance. I was pretty frustrated by the crossovers, but that's what we do. We just do these things so that we can learn. Like, okay, this is an interesting stimulus. Let's move on. I want to thank Ice Barrel for sponsoring this video. I do this every day, 3 minutes, and there's dozens of benefits for cold plunges. But the thing that I love the most is that it builds resilience every day. Developing the ability to do hard things is a good thing. If you want to grab an Ice Barrel, you can save $125 with my link. And with workout number 1, I decided to practice with the WOD timer app. So I feel like that's always a smart thing to do, just to get a practice with that app so that I've got the time on my screen. I was also using my watch to keep track of my time. One of the things that I won't do during qualifiers is I won't wear black shorts. If we're doing workouts out of squats, I probably will just avoid black shorts altogether for quarterfinals. Here, it doesn't really matter. I've got black shorts with a gray wall, but oftentimes you have a hard time seeing black shorts against a black wall, which you often find in gyms. And I don't want to create any situation where my reps aren't absolutely clear. So I noticed on my first rep at 225 there, it was a little high. Actually, if I was to go back, I would say it was probably a little high. Why not? Let's take a look at it. We're in this thing. So let's watch this first rep. That's close. So I would want to make that quite a bit more clear. I don't think there should ever be a question on my depth on squats. So, okay, let's make sure that we get that first squat clean to depth. That's a lesson that I'm learning in this. And then I move on and I do these handstand walks. Again, with regards to where my camera is placed, this was not some sort of private session. There's other people working out, and I just decided to get the footage as opposed to the exact setup that HQ would have wanted for this particular workout. My goal was to get the stimulus and do my best. I'm changing my own weights. I'm changing the plates while I'm taking a rest from handstand walks here in a second. So, this is not the perfect scenario, but it's a great way to practice. The handstand walks needed to be unbroken. So that was fine. I'm not overly worried about handstand walks going unbroken. We'll just watch me go through these. I did make a mistake on one of these where I stepped down before I got to the plates. And then I wasn't sure, was this supposed to be unbroken? And I asked the gym owner who was also doing workout. I said, hey, are these supposed to be unbroken? He's like, yep. So then I went ahead and did an extra handstand walk since I did get a no rep on the handstand walks. Now we're back to the plates, I believe. And we're doing the front squats. Again, that first rep is a little sketch. I want that to get to depth. So I'll be making a mental note if we have front squats, that first squat clean needs to go absolutely to depth without question. And in fact, I think back to Wodapalooza, I think I got one no rep on an overhead squat, and I believe it was my first one. So for whatever reason, my body's not wanting to get to depth on that first squat, and I'm not going to make those mistakes when it comes to quarterfinals or semifinals. Get those cleaned up. I did break this up into 9-6. Which I felt was totally fine. 185 pounds felt fine. I don't think that they would need to scale this workout for masters athletes. I think this would be something, if we did see something like this, it would be just like this. Maybe not quite as many handstand walks, or maybe not unbroken. Here I am moving the camera so that I can get the rings in the frame. Again, this would never be something you'd want to do when you're doing the actual test to submit to HQ. You need to have all of the equipment in the right spots. But I'm just getting footage. So one of the critiques I have for myself in this particular workout is that I was moseying around a little bit. I mean, I was tired and I really wanted to do big sets on these ring muscle ups, but I was walking at a really slow pace. I just was not in a hurry as I was working my way through this test. I'll also have the same experience in test number 5, which I'll show you. And I generally want to see myself being very intentional about moving from movement to movement to movement with a quickness and intention, with a purpose. So I'm purposely going to get shocked and I'm going to get under the rings. And I was just moving a little bit slower than I want to see myself go, which again, I think is a good reason to record your workouts so you can get a feel for what you're up to. So right here, I'd like to see myself, maybe move a little quicker. Yeah, I'm changing my own weights, but let's move with some urgency here, Mr. Grubb. Let's go. Let's go. Anyway, so this is rest. I'm resting right now. Even though I'm changing my weights, I'm resting. But now I'm just going to mosey over to the chalk bucket, and then I'm going to mosey under the rings and stand there for a couple minutes. The time is just ticking away. So anyway, I do finish out these reps. Again, trying to make sure that I show clear lockouts on all of them. I practice that on all ring muscle ups. It just makes sense to never do it any other way, right? Now I'm going to come on over. I have to move the mat to the wall for wall walks. Again, this is one of those things when you're working out by yourself, you're going to set this stuff up and move it around so that you can get the workouts done. I would move faster in a real test. But again, just jamming through these front squats. I did 15 and 6. Nothing really fun to watch here as we just work our way through these. Really got the heart rate going, I'll tell you what. Now we get over to the wall walks, and here we go. This becomes fairly interesting, how challenging this becomes, or how quickly this becomes challenging. I did not set up tape on the floor. I know about where 10 inches is, and I actually went slightly closer to the wall than I expected the tape to be, just so that I'd be getting really good practice being this close to the wall. Not sure if it really affected my reps. I think, chest to wall facing handstand push-ups are just very challenging. They really, really light up your shoulders. And this is the entire workout. You do all of that front squat, all that shoulder handstand walking work, the ring muscle-ups to get to this, and just feel the fatigue in a new movement, a new, very challenging movement. I did 7 on my first set, I believe, and believe we get 6 here. We'll just move this, do this in fast motion. There, we got 6. And you'll just watch the clock tick off. It's going to take me a while to do these last 8, which I break into 4 and 4. Shoulders are really tired, trying to avoid overall fatigue, but that's a 3rd rep. Here's a 4th rep, and then we got a lot of fatigue going on there. Okay, that's fair. I have 4 more to go. And I'm trying to give myself enough time to recover so that I can do this set unbroken. I don't want to find myself having to do 1 more rep, 1 more set. Okay, workout's done. Under 13 minutes. Again, the feedback I give myself is go faster. Go with a little more intention. I don't think that the extra breaths that I was taking were that helpful. The shoulders are going to be on fire regardless. So let's just move faster on this one, Grub. That's all we're looking for, is just to move faster. All right. Let's move on to the next workout. This is workout number 4. And you'll see I've got some great mistakes that I made in this workout. I love it. I love to share this stuff. So let's just jump into this thing and see what this looks like. Again, goes without saying, the camera is not in the correct spot. We're not too far off, but I had a short tripod. I would have a bigger tripod. I would make sure that the monitor of the rower is in frame. So for this, I was really just trying to get good footage for you guys and trying to make it clear. I could have moved the camera over a little bit so we could see that monitor, but it really doesn't matter. I was hanging around the upper 140s, the lower 150s, just kind of moseying my way through this row. One of my primary goals was just to find a way that I could pace round one so that I could hang on for round two and I wouldn't find myself, just absolutely dying and stalling out on round two. I think that makes a big, big difference. We want to make sure that we can, get through these workouts and not stall out, especially when it's a 20-minute AMRAP. It requires pacing. So now we're doing the GHDs. I think one of the things that we did notice in the GHDs is there was a new standard that requires your hips to be behind the center of the pad. I did see quite a few individual athletes not adhering to that standard. So I'm really curious to see if there will be anything done about that. Because there's an advantage, an absolute advantage, if you have your hips in front of the pad. You really get into a different position. It's a very fast and different GHD sit-up. But this is kind of the standard way that I always do GHDs. Now, this pacing right now is a slow, methodical pace on GHDs. The last thing I want to do is cramp up or absolutely explode my core in this workout. So I decided to go 15, 15, 10, 10 on this first set of GHDs. And it worked just fine for me. I was really just trying to keep everything under control. I don't want my heart rate to spike. I don't want my core fatigue to spike because I've got to get back on the rower. And if you tested this workout, you found that once you got to that row and started going, it was like the strangest version of rowing for at least the first minute, first 100 meters or so, where you just didn't use your abs. You used every other muscle group but your abs while they kind of recovered. Then we get through that 500. I held the pace about the same on that 500. Make sure you hold on to those handles until you are through with that row. Then I went over for V-ups. And these actually didn't feel too bad, except that these V-ups are slightly incorrect. I didn't pay close attention to the standards, which if it's my quarterfinals, I am going to read every word of the requirements, and I'm actually going to review those with other athletes. I'll probably call Rick or another few masters out there. I'm going to review the standards with everyone. So you'll notice on these, my feet are not together. They are moving up and down at the same time. My hands are touching my feet. That's not a big deal, but your feet have to be together. So that's one of the things that we really need to pay attention to, keeping our feet together. And it's clear, even from this angle, this is a fairly decent angle for this movement as far as I would submit a video to HQ. And it's clear my feet are not together. But I believe I did 2 sets there. The V-ups were not as surprisingly hard as I thought they would be, but my feet weren't together. So I'm going to be practicing feet together V-ups to train my brain to not allow my feet to come apart. They need to be together the whole time. So that's totally fine. No big deal. The second row is about the same as the first row. I moved at a decent clip, low 150s, I believe. Could I have gone faster? Probably gone a little bit faster. But again, this is just one of those workouts with 20 minutes of effort and having it be so core centric. I'm just trying to make sure that I don't overly spike my heart rate or overly spike the fatigue in my core. But I'm working my way through this, making sure that I get to 1,000 meters before I let go of those handles. And GHDs, now we're on the second set. I know I'm probably not going to get back to GHDs again, so I give this set a bit more. I did 30 and then 10, 10 on this. So I just did my first set of 30. I do 10, and I believe I hold on. Maybe I get 15 in, and I hold on to the edge for that last 5. Getting back to the rower, same thing, lots of fatigue, really trying to relax my core on the row so that I don't cramp up, which is so incredibly challenging. And now I'm going to get over to the V-ups, I'm going to get through them again, and I'm going to do them in such a way that, the standard is not met. I do not have my feet together. But I get back to the rower, and I'm truly dead, and I don't have much time, but I give the row a good push. It was really interesting to see the numbers I could get on the rower. After all of that effort, I really could push that row. So that was good. It was a really, really good workout. If this was competition, I definitely dial up the intensity here. I probably dial it up by 10 or maybe even 15%. But I'm happy with getting a good practice round. I'm happy learning about V-ups, learning that I need to do them with feet together, learning what it felt like to go from the GHD to the row, to the V-ups, to the row, and vice versa. Just what's that like? And it's totally doable. And that was a good thing. It was nice to know that it was doable. Moving on to the last day, this is workout number 3. And I've got a whole group of masters athletes that joined me on this. Some guys drove up from Birmingham. And again, this was just so fun to be able to do this workout with a bunch of dudes. Just fun to suffer together. We all just went with the standard that works for all of us to be able to do this at the same time. So we kicked this workout off with 5 burpee box jump overs. Most of us scaled the clean and jerks to 245 pounds instead of 275. This was the only workout that I scaled because 275 pounds on a clean and jerk is just a bit too close to my 1 rep max for me to try to work through 15 reps. And I think if this did come out for the Masters, I think that there would be some scaling on the clean and jerks. I could totally be wrong, but I think 245 to 250 is probably the right scale for guys that are our age, at least 40 plus, 45 plus. But we'll see. You just never know. We've seen 275 in workouts before, so we'll see what happens. My strategy on this workout was consistent on the burpee box jump overs, not trying to blaze a trail here or set myself on fire. 245 pounds for clean and jerks is fairly spicy for me. So that means these burpee box jump overs are just gonna be something to get through, an obstacle. And these actually become a bit of a restful part of this workout. I felt like the clean and jerks eventually became a significant stimulus in this event, causing my heart rate to really spike with each clean and jerk, which we would expect. And then I found in the latter part of this workout, the burpee box jump overs to be the restful part of this workout, the place where I caught my breath. So these felt good. The clean and jerks felt good. We're just going to go ahead and move through these a little faster, especially since I'm on set 2. And these burpee box jump overs, again, face the box, nice and steady. Be smart on those jumps, make them happen. Clean and jerks, I did find myself pacing probably a little bit too much on these clean and jerks. I think I could have gone faster. Fun to test this workout and get an idea that, if we see this again, I will be able to move faster through these reps. So always good lessons to learn. Here's the example. Here's my set of 4. And there's 1. I take quite a few seconds here, quite a few breaths. And yeah, these are hard clean and jerks for me, but I could push this. I'm certainly not redlining. I just want to make sure that I can keep power cleaning them. I don't want to squat clean any of them because that will increase the intensity exponentially. So there's always this interesting fine line between going hard, really hard, and staying kind of conservative. Here I'm going to walk over and get shock. I just kind of did that every 2 reps. I found that to be a decent rhythm, but I do think that it slowed me down a little bit in this workout. So not a lot of exciting things to see here, except that we get through these last 5 burpee box jump overs. Same consistency as all of the others. There's 1. There's 2. It's funny, these started to feel better and better with each round. If you tested it, I bet you felt the same way. They felt better and better. I believe this is my 4th rep. And let's get through this thing. There we go. We're done. Really fun workout. Lesson learned. I can move a little faster on the clean and jerks. The burpee box jump overs were restful. And if this is a heavier workout for us, if we have this workout at 275, it will be just a test of how many reps at 275 pounds any of us can get. And then once the fatigue starts to set in, we'll see how that goes as well. I appreciate these guys jumping in this one with me. What we did after this is we actually took 3 heats to get through workout number 5. There were 2 ropes in this gym, so we had 2 guys go, then another 2 guys go, and then I batted cleanup on this last workout, number 6. And here we go with event number 6. I love deadlifts, so what I wanted to do on this is find a way to pace this just a little bit while pressing the speed button just a touch. These are all movements that I really enjoy, so I feel like I could give this a go. So I go 15 reps on this first set of deadlifts, then 6, The reason I don't go 21 there is I don't want to get to the chest to bar pull-ups and feel my heart rate explode. That's really the reason to break that up, to just, again, control that heart rate a bit. I took my time a bit on these, or getting to these chest to bar. If this is a live competition, we're going to want to move a little bit faster there. And again, just watching this video, I'm like, okay, noted. Get shock, get up on that bar, let's go. Because we don't need to mosey quite this much. We don't need to stay quite as paced. And again, hindsight's 2020. I'm just trying to make sure I don't blow up on this workout. That could happen. So I went 15 and 6 on these chest to bars. It wasn't a fatigue thing. It was all about predicting the potential increase in my heart rate if I were to go with bigger sets. A little bit of a guessing game. We set this up so that we could not have to change barbells and move from the rig, which we did pull-ups and bar muscle-ups, and then over on this side, we'll see the rope climbs. So we'll actually move the camera when we get to rope climbs. At 275, they felt good. They felt fairly light. Again, I broke them up into 9 and 6, I believe, maybe 10, 5, but somewhere in that 9-6 range because they felt good. I didn't want to blow up. Could have gone 15, but don't need to go 15 in a workout like this. I would also give myself the advice I didn't need to take quite that much rest right there. But I'm going to say it again, hindsight's 2020. We learn, and next time we can be slightly more aggressive. I will say that overall, I was going through the workout faster than I anticipated. I predicted how long different movements were going to take me, and it all went much, much faster than I thought. So we get to bar muscle-ups. These felt great. The only thing I didn't enjoy was my belt kept getting in the way on these. And I believe we go through 10 of these. Yep, get through 10. And the belt really, it really was bothering me. I knew that I'd want to have a slight breather before I get to the 315 barbell. So toss the belt, chalk up, get up, finish these reps, get 5 out of the way, and then I can put the belt on as I progress. Here was another mistake that I made in this workout. Realized it after the fact. I always, or almost always, deadlift with, see if I can get this on the screen here. Almost always deadlift with grips just to save my my hands. In this workout, we were not allowed to use grips on the bar. I should have flapped the grips off and used my bare hands. That was something that I noted afterwards and saw that in the standards. So another mistake on the standards. And these are things that you got to pay attention to if you're doing this. So while I'm okay, I don't think having grips or not having grips would change my speed through this workout or really overall my grip. It just saved my hands, my baby hands, from hurting. So now we're getting to the rope climbs, got the grips off, and we just got to do 9 rope climbs. I got to the rope climbs much earlier than I thought I would. These ropes, by the way, are 12 feet tall, and the gym owner is going to increase the rope height for quarterfinals in the next 2 weeks. I won't be at this gym, but so what I did is I wanted to make sure I had 2 big pulls per rep because that's what it takes me to get to 15 feet height on a rope. I jump, I do 2 big pulls, I touch, that's 15 feet. So here I'm trying to create the same stimulus I would have experienced if I were doing quarterfinals at a place that had 15-foot ropes. I don't mind adapting. I do this all the time in my RV. So having a rope that's 12 feet tall and I do 2 full big pulls, that's all I need. And again, it's giving me the same stimulus as a 15-foot rope. And here we go. We're just moving faster through this workout. While we're watching these, I'm going to finish up this video with this sort of thought process. The quarterfinals for individuals, I think, are always a really fun thing to practice. The last 2 or 3 years that quarterfinals have existed for individuals, I've tested all of the workouts. It provides this chance to test out some workouts programmed by HQ. It gives me a look into some possible movements that we'll have for our Masters quarterfinals. The individuals had a 4 rep max a couple of years ago, and we had a 4 rep max. So it was really nice to kind of get a feel and a test for that on my own a couple weeks before quarterfinals, and then do it again in quarterfinals. There are other years where last year I did all of the quarterfinal workouts. I really gave them a good go, and we didn't see any crossover whatsoever in our quarterfinals. So there's just no way of knowing, but I think it's always good to practice this every year. So if you're planning your future quarterfinals or semifinals career as a master's athlete, I would definitely recommend testing the individual quarterfinals so that you can get some extra work in. And these were my workouts for the weekend. I didn't do any additional work. Friday was 3 of these tests. Saturday was 2 of the tests. No additional work except for some crossover practice. That's it. Because these were really challenging workouts. I was pretty sore yesterday. And it's Monday now when I'm recording this. I feel great. It's going to be back to standard regular training. But, doing quarterfinal workouts was really fun. I'm excited to see where these go into the future. That workout is over. And yeah, that's it. This is unscripted. Not going to edit this video much. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope there's some lessons learned here about developing some efficiencies in workouts, having a bit of an intention, move quickly, when to use grips, when not to use grips, have your feet together on V-ups, figure out crossovers before you start the workout, go faster than you think you should in some of the workouts, pace yourself in other parts. All of these ideas and factors are running through my head constantly as I'm practicing and then executing these workouts in my own quarterfinals, which happens very, very soon. So good luck, guys, on your Masters quarterfinals. Congratulations to all the individual quarterfinals. That is in your past. And we're going to have some fun this year. It's going to be a good year. And I appreciate you guys watching. If you know someone that should watch this video, send it over to them. Give us a like and subscribe below. We'll see you next time. And remember, guys, our best years are ahead of us. Get bolder, not older.